That one, yeah. Got it. This is the Gundam. All right. So Plasm Network Basics. So this project is led by Stake Technologies. And Stake Technology is private enterprise, and Plasm Network is a project. We are based in Asia Pacific, especially in Tokyo, but our team is decentralized in many committers and many teammates all over the world. And our mission is build a scalable infrastructure for realizing Web3. And that's why we are making Plasm Network. And Plasm Network is a future Polkadot parachain, which supports smart contract well. And Polkadot consists of relay chain and parachain. And relay chain does not support smart contract by design. So people in the community need at least one parachain which supports smart contract well. From the Ethereum community, we learned a lot from Ethereum. I think the scalability must be one of the fundamental needs that apps developer has. So we are implementing layer 2 technology on Plasm Network, especially optimistic virtual machine. Optimistic virtual machine is the unification for all layer 2 protocols such as Plasma, state channel, and rollups. So first, we are implementing Plasma solution on the top of substrate, but we're gonna also implement state channel and rollup in the future. And Plasm Network is supported by great teams and investors, including the UC Berkeley Blockchain Accelerator and Web3 Foundation grant program. All right. So we have two types of scalability. So one type of the layer 1 scalability, it's like a sharding, and Polkadot is taking this approach. Polkadot is scalable thanks to this sharding approach. Many blockchain will be connected to Polkadot relay chain. And we are implementing a vertical scalability with layer 2 technology, which is more flexible. And layer 2 technology does not sacrifice the decentralization. So in the future, we are going to make gaming use cases or DEX use cases and bridges between Plasm and other protocols in the future. So we are so excited to bring layer 2 solution and high scalability into Polkadot ecosystem. All right, and this is the basic introduction. And so, as I said, we got a lot of questions from the community, mainly Lockdrop, Validator things, and governance and future plan. So let's see one by one. All right, so I'm going to ask questions to Hoon, and Hoon will be answering one by one. Are you okay?
Yep, bring it on.
All right, cool. So how can we withdraw the locked ETH?
All right, well, this is a very simple question. So the Ethereum itself, it's easy to withdraw, since all you have to do is send an empty transaction to the locked address. Now, the other question would be, how can we actually know which others we should send a transaction to? For that, it's all you have to do is just oh, sorry, forgot this was already that. Access the Lockdrop web application. Now it's going to take a while since I have a lot of applications open at the moment, but let's see.
Yeah, it takes time always.
Yeah. Or actually, well, that and actually, I think something's wrong with my computer right now. It's because of the live stream that we're doing.
Oh yeah.
If that's the case,
because of the live streaming.
We'll take a different approach then. I will spoil some things for everyone and give you a sneak peek of what the next Ethereum, or not Ethereum, sorry, Lockdrop web application will look like by running on a local host. It's the same thing, really. It's connected to the same Ethereum blockchain, so the functionality will be exactly the same with just the revised UI. But yes, so
cool.
this is how we're gonna make things going. You can see the second Lockdrop is under preparation as well. But yes, so Now, first you access the usual Lockdrop web application form. This is exactly how it looks like, the same thing as it's deployed right now. And this part will take a while since it's actually parsing the entire Ethereum block in one go. So the actual form performance itself is pretty okay. So yeah, just give it about like a minute or so, and it should load.
We are going to do the refactoring, so it can be a faster, I think.
Yeah, definitely. It's just hard to make it optimize this when I have to handle multiple blockchains. But yeah, sorry for the speed. Anyway, nice weather we have today here. Actually, no, the weather is horrible.
Yeah,
it's nice here. Okay, now there you go.
Cool.
Okay,
cool.
So now the result's not that important. What's important here is you go down, go to your global locks here, and go to the unlock tokens tab. Just click it, and it should shift if it loads. Okay, there we go. And boom, this is the lock address that you should send an empty transaction to. So far, I've locked my 0.099 Ether for 1,000 days. I'm sorry, I'm too poor, but anyway. 1,000 days, I have like 964 days left, which is like about 3 years, and I'm pretty sure I'll be dead by then. But now what happens is if you try to send a transaction that hasn't finished, or not transaction, but a lock that hasn't finished yet, you can see at let's see, send Ether and just 0 ETH. Well, first thing is it won't work at all because the smart contract itself will reject it. But if you have a lock that has already been finished, which for everyone who locked it for 30 days should have been finished by now, you will be able to retrieve your locked Ether as soon as you send an empty transaction to this address that I've shown you. Although one thing to note is that you will have to pay for the transaction fee, which is quite small, but still it is a payment. So make sure that you have at least the transaction fee within your wallet. So yes, that would be the answer for the first question.
I see. So my next question is, as I can see your screen, you logged 1,000 day, right?
Yeah.
So Ethereum 2.0 can be happened probably next year or next year. Yeah, definitely within the 3 years. So what happened after ETH 2.0?
That's a good question. It's a question that I've got quite a lot from a lot of people. So the short answer is nothing happens, and the long answer is, well, I'll have to give everyone a crash course on how Ethereum 2.0 will be implemented. So Ethereum 2.0 is just another update, a Serenity update. I think it's called Serenity, the code name, but it's just another update for the Ethereum runtime. And the only major thing that happens, okay, the two major things that happens is sharding and the change of consensus algorithm, which right now it's changing to proof of stake. And Ethereum 2.0 has, technically speaking, already launched because it has a beacon chain where it is gathering stakers to stake it and ensure that we have, they have enough validators for the new Ethereum 2.0 node. And fun fact, the staking contract that they use for Ethereum 2.0 is actually on Ethereum 1.0. And what their plan is to make the existing Ethereum 1.0, the OG Ethereum, but not the classic Ethereum, into a shard where there's going to be about, I think, 1,024 independent blockchain shards. And Ethereum will be one of that. And they will have a one-on-one exchange rate. In other words, no exchange rate. It's just going to be a smooth transaction. And all the initial state ever since the Genesis will still be there. So nothing will change. Although there are some risks that I could sort of think of. For instance, the timestamp for Ethereum during the transition, which is, I think, phase 1 for Ethereum 2.0. One potential issue would be when the timestamp sort of shifts. So your locked Ether might be locked for another minute or two, but there aren't any drastic risks or changes from what I understand.
All right.
And right now it's in phase 0, and I think the actual like implementation of sharding stages or phase 1 would start from next year. And even after that, the chain state will be exactly the same. Nothing will change at all.
Yeah, got it. Yeah, so in terms of the Lockdrop, we have 4 options, right? 30 days, 100 days, 300 days, and 1,000 days. So if you feeling risky, so you can join the 30 days or 100 days. So my next question is what's the status of the second Lockdrop? So we have multiple Lockdrops. Actually, there's 3 times. The first Lockdrop was done 1 month ago, and around 3 million USD was locked on our smart contract, Lockdrop smart contracts. So what's the status of the second Lockdrop? And could you describe the second Lockdrop, especially like a Bitcoin Lockdrop?
All right. Well, so for the second Lockdrop, currently the status is the smart contract. We're going to be using the same smart contract for our first Ethereum Lockdrop. So the Ether Lockdrop contract itself is finished, and from my understanding, the Bitcoin script for the Lockdrop is also finished as well, and right now it's in testing mode. And also the refactored Lockdrop application to support multiple Lockdrop is almost finished. It's practically finished at this point. The only thing that's not finished right now is the Bitcoin Lockdrop form, which I will have to make from scratch. But I think it'll only take about a week to actually make it, and a few days for testing. So yes, for the status, we're almost finished. We're just roughing out the edges, excluding the Bitcoin form. And how will the Bitcoin Lockdrop work? Well, it's quite simple. I mean, it's for people who you saw our first Lockdrop, the Ethereum Lockdrop. The interaction will be pretty much the same, since the form will simplify a lot of things. Although the one difference would be that, unlike the Ethereum Lockdrop, the Bitcoin Lockdrop will not be using a light client for interacting with the browser and the actual web page. So the structure will be quite different. There will be some manual inputs involved, since the browser will have to generate an address on the fly, and all you have to do is just send the amount that you wish to lock within that to that address. But the team is here to make things simpler as we go. And yeah, so for the end user, there shouldn't be really much of a hassle.
Got it. And the reason why we have a multiple Lockdrop is so if we just have a one Lockdrop with ETH, the ratio of Ethereum holder can be reflected on Plasm Network. So let's say Vitalik has 80% of ETH and Gab has 20% of ETH, in just example. And in this case, the Vitalik has a right to own 80% of Plasm Network as a default. I think this is not fair. So that's why we have a multiple Lockdrop in ETH and Bitcoin and dots. Especially third Lockdrop is a key. So we're gonna have a third Lockdrop during the parachain auction, a Polkadot parachain auction, by locking your dots on our slots, our chain. So you can get Prime token with very good rate. Yep. Then we can be a parachain. So my last question regarding Lockdrop is, can we use hardware wallet for the second and third Lockdrop?
All right, so it's a good question. It's kind of a continuation of the previous question, since for hardware wallets, for Ethereum Lockdrop, it will be going through a browser extension, a light client. So if the light client supports hardware wallets by default, for instance, MetaMask supports hardware wallet integration. So yes, if you're using MetaMask to lock your Lockdrop, to lock Ether for your Lockdrop, yes, you can use hardware wallets. Bitcoin, there will be some, as I mentioned, there will be some manual inputs involved, but the team is trying hard to optimize it for hardware wallets as well to ensure that it actually works. But yes, you're able to use it. For a third Lockdrop, well, Ethereum and Bitcoin Lockdrop will be the same, but because we have a new another Lockdrop for dots, to be honest, I have no idea how it will work, or if there even is a hardware wallet support for dot at the moment. Like, because I don't really know a lot about the dot
I think
light clients yet.
Yeah, I think it will be definitely supported in the future, but at this time, I'm not sure yet.
Yeah.
But
so yeah, of course, yeah.
Yeah, let's move on to validator topics. So we got 3 questions from the community. The first one is what happened to validator after being a Polkadot parachain?
Okay, so this one is simple. So once we actually implement the Cumulus module and we transition our consensus algorithm to a nominated proof of stake, proof of stake, what will happen is it will switch all the validators into a collator for the parachain itself, which basically means you will be propagating or validating and propagating the blocks that happens for a certain parachain, i.e. Plasm Network, and that will be propagated through the entire Polkadot network. So for the end users, by end user, I mean the validators, nothing will really change. It will be, all you have to do is just go through a simple runtime update. You could just download that through our GitHub page release, and just do as usually, you just type in all those flags to set up a validator node, and that's it.
Yeah, cool. I think this is pretty simple. And my second question is, when will it be possible for community members to be a validator on the mainnet and Dusty network? And what is the difference between Dusty network and the mainnet?
All right. Well, first of all, for the validator or setting up a validator node, you can already do that right now, and through the same method as well, since the node executable itself is already released through our GitHub page. So yeah, so we don't really release it through an external another source other than GitHub. So I will recommend starring our GitHub page, wink wink, and to get some new notifications. But yes, you can set up right now for both mainnet and Dusty. And for validator rewards, I believe you'll have to submit a form to the community, because right now, the current state, we're using proof of authority. So all the validator rewards itself will be tracked by the Plasm team itself.
I see.
And for the difference.
Difference. Go ahead.
The difference between mainnet and Dusty. Well, Dusty is a testnet. So every update that will come to the mainnet, that will eventually go to the mainnet, will have to go through Dusty. So if you want to experience something new, or to help the development team test out how the next chain will be implemented, you can run Dusty and experience it for yourself. And give us some feedback. That'll be very nice.
Got it.
Mainnet itself, that will be the final chain that we're going to be supporting. And in terms of token value, Dusty network at the current state, because we still need a substantial amount of validators, we are planning on giving value to Dusty, which I believe the ratio is like 200 to 1 value. So yes, Dusty will have like the 200th of a single plum in mainnet. And after when our third Lockdrop is over, Dusty network will just become a normal testnet, similar to how it works with Ropsten and Ethereum and other networks.
Yeah, that is good to know. And my last question is, why don't we have a Sentry nodes? And what is a Sentry node?
Okay, so so what summary of a Sentry node? Sentry nodes are it's like a network security pattern that's used to set up multiple nodes as a wall to prevent any denial of service attacks to the validator node itself. Because the problem is, when you set up a blockchain validator or validator node, your network information is actually in public, because the port has to face to the public network in order for you to actually listen to any blocks coming in. and hackers can actually do some bad things with that IP address. That's why we use a sentry node to sort of mitigate the security risks. And for the reason why we don't have, technically we do have sentry nodes. It's possible to implement your own sentry node because our validator node executable supports having multiple instances. And it's not that hard to do it. But yes, you will have to use your own network resources, and that won't be really well implemented. So that's why the team is actually planning on implementing a sentry node on AWS, Amazon Web Service. So in order to have a default sentry node that should support and sort of protect all the validators. But it is recommended to have your own security practices and setting up your own personal sentry node with our existing infrastructure that we provide.
Got it. Nice. So let's move on to governance.
Mm-hmm. All right. So yeah.
Oh yeah. So we got two questions regarding the governance and token economics. The first question is, what is Plasm Network token economics?
Right. Token economics.
Yep.
Well, it's quite a long answer, actually.
Yeah, probably like we have written an article regarding
yes, there's
token economics. So we are going to post the link on the YouTube channel. And
but
also,
I can give a summary of like how where tokens can be used within Plasm Network. For instance, there's the usual ones like transaction fees, validation rewards, and we also support staking and referendums for decentralized governance. Then there's also the Plasm Network specific aspects, such as using the operator rewards for dApps. When you stake a decentralized application that already exists within Plasm Network, the operator will be given a certain reward for each era. That's how tokens are used as well. Tokens are basically incentivization mechanisms for decentralized applications and block validations. And the other usage would be for casting votes for malicious decentralized applications. Yes, those are the most major usage of plums. Plasm Network.
Yeah, thanks. I think like a dApp staking is a very good way. The great example of our token economics. So we divide block reward into 3 parts. 50% goes to validators, and 40% goes to dApps developers on the top of Plasm Network, and 10% goes to dApps nominators. I wanna especially say the dApps creator reward. So by making dApps on the top of Plasm Networks, they can get the revenue. It can be a basic income. I think this is very great token economics incentivization. All right, so here is the last question. So how is the network updated?
Can you elaborate a bit more in this question? How is it updated? I assume it refers to the decentralized governance, right?
Yeah, decentralized governance. So I would like to know about, not I, the community member would like to know about like how the network will be updated, like a decentralized governance. How does it work?
Well, at the current stage, I mean, we're very in the early stage, so it won't really matter too much unless like there's a change.org petition. But yeah, when we go like full mainnet and we also have a dedicated referendum module for it. Yeah, so how will it work? It's just similar to how it works with Kusama and other substrate networks. We will be having a referendum, like a voting module just specifically for casting, or starting a referendum of what you want to change regarding network, and people can stake their tokens to cast a vote for that specific change. And yes, and the team or any other team, actually, it doesn't really have to be us, but most likely it will be us, or at least managed by us, to implement that change to the network. Since it's all decentralized, people have the right to, everyone has the right to cast a vote, assuming that you have enough plums to actually cast a vote. And yes, that's how networks will be updated. And for actually updating it, you just go to your GitHub repository and just download the new executable.
Yeah, I think that also Lockdrop is the very decentralized way to distribute tokens. So we as a project, we just have 10 to 15% of all tokens, and 90 to 55, 85% of token are distributed to the community. So we're gonna decide the protocol update with decentralized way, decentralized voting and so on. But currently the status is POA, proof of authority. So after being nominated proof of stake, so we're gonna implement the governance, decentralized governance, and Plasm Network gonna be a decentralized project. Yeah, in the future. And let's see the next one.
All right.
So this is the last one. And we got these questions. I think he or she is concerning the centralized governance, I guess.
Or I guess it's best to just read out the entire question just to make sure. So on 9th of May 2020 was made a new proposal in Kusama concerning the increase in Polkadot supply from 10 million to 1 billion. We don't know at the moment of this question was written if the proposal will pass, although I hope that no modification occurs in Polkadot economics. My motivations are different, and this does not seem to me the most suitable venue to speak about it. But my concern is also directed towards Plasm. Therefore, I would like to ask you if Plasm's token economics could undergo changes, since all calculations to define the various parameters of the three lock drops were made backwards, starting from the possible value of dot in the future. I hope no changes per Plasm as well. So I guess to summarize the question, basically, will our token economics or our core functionality change in the future? The way how the token value will work. The simple question, or I guess I would say the optimistic answer, or simplest answer would be to say no, it won't change. The team had worked hard, especially our CTO, in defining the ground rules, and we have already consolidated all those rules. We've already executed them, and so far it's working up to plan. We don't really see any reason why we should change. And yeah, so most likely in terms of token economics, nothing will change. But there will be one possible instance of where we have to change. And that would be when the community opens up a referendum once we go proof of stake. When that happens, as a team and as a team who honors decentralized governance, we don't really have any other option but to honor the referendum that has been opened. And so yeah, in that case, we don't really have an option. But assuming that majority of the people don't really want to change, or they put a nay vote in changing the supply of plums, it won't change, and there is no reason to change as well.
Got it. So I think this is the old question we got from the community in May. We are going to do our AMA every month, hopefully. So if you have a question, feel free to join on Discord or Telegram and ask question to us. So thank you for listening.
Thank you everyone for being here.